Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. Today we're doing kind of show and tell type updates because I just don't have the motivation or energy to do any plant chores right now. I have plenty that still needs to be done. I've done a lot of repotting and poling plants, which I'll show you some of those. But over here, kind of there, in this little nook area back here, it's just a mess. It's a disaster. There's a bunch of plants on poles and a couple other little things stuck in there. And they're all kind of jammed here because I have the Sansi light, which is pretty good for an overhead light. I call it the Sansi helicopter light. Maybe you can see it up there. That one, and then I have like a panel, a purple light down there. I don't know, can you see it? I have no clue. I can't see. But anyway, I have that going on and I hate that light. I hate it so much, but it's very effective. So there it is. But anyway, it's such a cluster, it's like really hard to get back there. But anyway, that's an update on the state of the plant room. It's just a wreck in here. See my Fryedeck back here? That's the newest leaf. It's so pretty. So pretty. So that's done great since it's repot. It's still chilling. I don't see any pesty damage. I don't see any pesty damage. I think that's what I was doing last video, was like scrubbing that leaf. Or well, this is the new leaf, so I did actually scrub it, but I don't see any new damage. But yeah, that's what was going on that caused me to soap this plant up. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So I keep trying to show you this one plant that's over here flowering, and it's chased me out of the room 3 times, literally choking. It's this Hoya back here. It has peduncles all over it, and I cannot stand it. It's driving me nuts. I'm cutting all the flowers off. There are so many flowers. It literally has chased me out of the room choking and coughing. I don't know if I'm allergic to this particular Hoya or what. I mean, the flowers are cute, don't get me wrong, but it is driving me crazy, and it just won't stop flowering. There's even more back there. Oh, and anytime I move it, I can really smell it even worse then. And that's not the only Hoya flowering right now, but it's the only one that bothers me. I don't know. I don't like the smell of it, firstly. And secondly, I mean, it really causes me to have a hissy fit, like choking, coughing, eyes watering, you name it. So pardon me if I show you this Hoya from a distance without actually picking it up to show you, because oof. This is another Hoya. I swear there's other things than Hoya that I'm going to update you on. This was the Sergoensis Hoya. And I wasn't sure what was going on with it. It wasn't growing anymore. This is actually 2 cuttings. So I cut it, the base of the plant. I might have repotted it thinking that it had maybe root mealies. I never saw any. Oh, can you see the roots sticking out? There were no root mealies that I saw. I've looked at it under a microscope. I saw nothing. And then just all of a sudden it decided to grow. It was in the quarantine corner in the bathroom of shame, but yeah, it's growing there. This is actually a new leaf. It's very soft still. This one right here. And there's more growth down there. I don't know. So this has only put out 1 leaf so far, but the base of the plant, it's over in the corner of chaos here. They're out of quarantine now. I think it's got 4 or 5 new leaves on it. I can't really get to it because, like I said, corner of chaos, which I'll give you a better view of it, and you can see what I'm talking about, why I hate the way this looks so much. Like, I hate clutter. There's so much clutter. But yeah, that's that guy. My anthurium, who are you? This anthurium, it says Clarinervium X Pterodactyl X Magnificum. It did nothing. It was in soil, and it did nothing for a very long time. Sorry, I'm just picking off a dried sheath. I can't help myself. Did nothing for a long time in soil. This was a leaf, I think it put this out in soil also, and it just, you know, it's okay, but that's not the best. So I stuck it in pond, and then it just sat there and did nothing for a while. I can see some other little growth points sticking off of it now. Sorry, I'm distracted. But anyway, it's finally putting out a new leaf, which does look a little, like a little sticky maybe. But it's making a move. It's got a tiny little growth point right in there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's got a couple of them sticking off like that, little tiny spikes. So I might actually repot it again. I've got some different pots coming, which this is just a pot that I've repurposed. Oh, it's got a root sticking out there. That's definitely into the reservoir. So I might repot that into a better pot. I find that these actually don't seem that great for semi-hydro, at least not for pond or leca. I have to still top water. And it does wick some up from the bottom, but it just doesn't seem to work as well as my little pea brain thinks it should. So I don't know. I'm probably going to repot it. That and see if I can't sink this a little bit deeper. I'm not sure how much is down there below the pond. I really can't remember if it was like a long chunk or not. I don't think it was. I don't know. But it's cute. This was given to me. I bought a plant from a lady up the road, and she just gave this to me. I guess she was tired of fooling with it. It was a rehab when I got it. So none of the leaves were even this big, but I did have one bigger on it when it was in soil, but then it just wasn't doing good in soil. So I don't know. Like, wish me luck with this. I'm not great with anthurium, well, except the clarinervium. That one does pretty good for me, and my hookeri. They do fine, but I've killed queen anthurium, forgetii, crystallinum, veitchii. I don't know, I've killed a lot of anthurium. So I love this plant. This is philodendron silver stripe, which it's doing a lot of white, or it was. This has been in this pot for 2 years. This is the growth we have. And I think it was 12 cuttings. I had this plant originally growing on a moss pole, and it was doing fine on there, but this was one of the leaves that I cut off that moss pole. It just, I don't know if it's just my experience with this particular plant, but it doesn't really size up that much on a moss pole. It seemed kind of pointless to me to keep it on there, so I cut it off November, not this one past, but the one before that. And I had about 12 leaves that I stuck in a pot. I didn't put them in water or anything. I was just like, live or die, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be. Look at that leaf. And it lived. It took a sweet time. It was about 12 leaves, and I think currently there's 5 alive. So some of them probably rotted or dried up or, you know, whatever. But it didn't do much for the longest time. And it finally is now, so I'm pretty excited about that. I should probably repot it, because like I said, it's been in here for 2 years. And it could just use a refresh and a more appropriately sized pot, I think. Oh, 6. There's another little one down there that I didn't see under there. Can we show that, maybe? Where is it? In the shade. It's down there, I swear. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to repot it and put it in something a little bit more appropriate and let it trail. Because, yeah, I have another one. I think it's just like one strand in a hanging pot somewhere. I think it's downstairs. But, yeah, it is a lovely plant. I don't know why it decided to be so white on this particular vine. Actually, I guess this one had quite a bit of light color on it as well. I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty though. Look at that one. I don't know. I'm just happy that it's growing finally, because I thought maybe that this was just going to stay a few leaves in a pot forever. This one actually did go outside in the greenhouse, and I think that helped quite a bit. That, you know, the warmth finally, the heat and the warmth out there. So I jumped on the bandwagon with this one. This is Jasenia pothos epipremnum. And I've seen a couple on YouTube that were really pretty on a pole, And when I first saw this, I have a hanging basket of it. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's the sickest pothos I've ever seen. Like, as in, I thought it was unwell just because of the way the leaves look. Like I don't know how to explain it. The color of them, the markings on them, it just looked unwell. And then I was like, oh, it's Jesenia. Got it. I'm looking to see if it's rooted in here anywhere. I don't see where it is yet, or where there's any new root growth, but it really hasn't been long since I did this. I just kind of jammed it on there, and I'm hoping to get a nice plant out of this. I can actually see where some of it's floating and needs to be pinned back against the pole again. But yeah, so, you know, that's an update. I chopped up some of my Jesenia to put on here. And I've been saying for ages that I was going to get this on a pole. This is the saddest little thing you've ever seen. This is skeleton key, Epipremnum skeleton key. And it was, I mean, it was growing fine, but it was just kind of trailing. It was about 4 feet long. So this has no roots. No, this one does have roots. I don't know why we've got that on there. Yeah, there's some roots in there. And I'm not sure how well it's going to grab this pole. Maybe okay. Some of it's kind of floating again. But it never, like, this was the maximum size of every leaf that was in that pot. It was very tiny growth. So I'm assuming that this is one that to really shine, I guess, it really needs a pole to do that. So yeah, we'll see if we can get some of those skeleton keys out of this guy. I'm pretty excited for it. Like, I'm hopeful. My eye is twitching. I'm cutting every flower off of that plant when I'm done, off of that Hoya. Every one of them, they're gone. But yeah, so, you know, I hope it does well. I've got to push it back on the pole some places, but. And then this one here, this is Epipremnum Cebu Blue. Cebu Blue? Yeah, which it was already on a pole, but I ripped it off that pole because it was actually like a cocoa core. It was this right here, actually. It was on a couple of these, and I had a heck of a time getting it off. So while it doesn't actually root into that, it does grab onto it quite enthusiastically. So I'm not sure how well this is going to do. This does not have any roots. There's not a single root in this pot from this plant. I'm hoping it's going to be all right and it'll do its thing. I don't see it doing anything yet, but it's only been, I don't know, a couple days. So, you know, hopefully we can get it to continue to carry on, because I kept the plant even though I ripped it off the pole. It's massive. It's massive. It was way too much going on. It was just unmanageable, and that's why we've started over. It's a big plant. It's, I mean, in a big pot, and it was root bound in that pot. It was, I don't know how I was going to do anything further with it if I didn't rip some off and kind of start over. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But yeah, I like this plant quite a bit. Quite a bit. It's pretty, right? Humble opinion. Except for that I ripped some of it, ripping it off the pole. It's definitely suffered the abuse of Jen. I didn't mean to do it. This is my Ficus shaveriana, which is lovely. I mean, I do think it's a pretty plant. That's the new leaf there. This has had a terrible summer. It's had mealybugs and spider mites. It's probably had thrips too, I don't know. But this is all there is to this plant, which is surprising to me because I have Taniki, Ruby, and Burgundy also. And they've grown. They grew a lot this summer. This one did not, which maybe it's just the pest pressure. It was like too busy trying to survive to grow. But since I brought it in, it's put out a new leaf. Go figure. It was outside. It could have done that any time this summer, but it waited. It waited until I brought it in. I don't know, but it's slow. Maybe that's just me, but it's slow. It's the slowest ficus that I have. I don't know. I like it a lot. I just want there to be a little bit more of it. Like, it's pretty. I think it's pretty. I'm constantly looking for more pesty damage, which I don't know if you can tell, but there is some back there. I'm just kind of spraying it. If I water it, I spray it. And that's kind of the same with everything right now, just because I have not actually thoroughly pest checked everything in this house. I just haven't. I'm just slowly but surely going through, and as I water it, I'm also spraying it, and then I'm kind of making my way around and slowly like wiping the leaves of every single plant, like every single leaf. So it can be time consuming, but I do like washing plants. I don't know why. I said last video on the thumbnail, I was like, I love washing plants or something like that. I'm not kidding. That's my favorite plant chore, is just to sit down, maybe watch some YouTube videos and just wipe those leaves. Scrub-a-dub-dub. I'm into it. This is the variegated Alocasia Frydek, which that's pretty, but it has not done nearly as well as its non-variegated friend over there. It did put this leaf out, but I think it was already working on it. I can't remember, but you can see some yellowing on here, and then this one here is just really droopy. I tend to cut them as soon as they start to splay, rather than try to, I know a lot of people will like prop them up or something. I haven't. Its little baby down there seems to be doing okay. This leaf didn't quite unfurl all the way, but it is working on another one. And it is variegated. I would tip it, but here we go. I was going to say I'd tip it, but it's in pond. And I don't want to dump water all over the floor. So, I mean, I guess it's doing okay, but it just hasn't been as enthusiastic about it as its friend over here. So I don't know. Everybody says ignore them. I kind of do, but this one here, it doesn't care. I can ignore it, I can pay attention to it, it just, I don't know. I've never had very good luck. I think I've killed 2 or 3 of these before. I don't know. I don't grow them well. I don't. But that's pretty. That's gonna go crispy as hell, but it's pretty. This Alocasia Jacqueline, I burnt it. It grew up into the light and I wasn't paying attention. That was a burn across the center there. Then it also had a ton of spider mites, which I scrubbed off. I don't know. It's looked like this for 6 months. It doesn't feel solidly rooted in there. There's no roots coming out the bottom. I don't know. That's the update on this guy, that there's no update. The update is no update. I think when I get my other pots here, I will probably uproot it again. Like you can see, it's kind of high. I mean that there's a lot of potential for rooting there. Is what I mean, and I might sink that lower once I get, you know, a pot that will accommodate that. And I moved it to higher light, thinking that maybe we can get it doing something, but no, it's just been sitting here with this one burnt leaf for a very long time, months. And I know some Alocasia are slow, but this seems excessively slow to me. I don't know. Oh gosh, I just disturbed that Hoya again trying to get this plant out. Begonia Sinbad, which I've had a time with this plant, as evidenced by some of the not so hot looking leaves, but I seem to have gotten it together. We have a new shoot down there. I'm pretty excited about it. And then this one, and then there's one here. And this one's doing much better now. It was flowering. I don't know if you can see. But yeah, I think I figured it out. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon. It's always kind of thirsty though, and I really don't like the floppiness of it. It's not like a lot of cane type begonias hold their rigidity well. They stay upright pretty well. This is not one. I don't know if I'm just underwatering it or what, but I've ordered some like clear acrylic stakes So hopefully I can get it to just stand. If it's even a little thirsty, it just flops right over. Which, I mean, maybe I shouldn't stake it, because at least that way I'll know that it's thirsty. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna stake it. Because this is actually well watered right now. I watered it yesterday or the day before. I don't know. And it's still just wall. It's very mobile. So yeah, I'm probably gonna stake that. But yeah, I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. Like, don't hold me to that or anything, but I think so. It's so pretty. I really do like this one quite a bit. I don't like the texture at all. At all. I like the way it looks, but I hate the way it feels. Kind of like that other begonia. I think I just repotted that maybe last video. I'm not sure. Begonia Magic Carpet. I'll hold that up anyway because we're here, and it's doing pretty good since I repotted it. So I was also complaining about this begonia constantly being flopped over, which this oldest vine continues to be flopped over, which, ugh. See all the little leaves growing out of the leaf? That's so disturbing. But anyway, point being, the rest of it is holding itself erect as a begonia should. Begoner. Or as a cane type begoner should, I guess. It's really pretty. It is really pretty. My humble opinion. It's a lot heavier now that it's in this ceramic. But yeah, I mean, it's doing good. It handled the repot pretty well, I think. I've got, you know, some new growth down there in the center, if we're focusing it all on that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. In the backs, the undersides. Oh, the red. So pretty. So pretty. This is Epishka. Yep. I guess I'm saying that right. So pretty. I just repotted this not too long ago, and it's just exploded with more growth, which I think is great. I was kind of worried about putting it in this pot because it seemed a little bit big. It was in a little bitty, you know, 2-inch pot or whatever. And I mean, this isn't huge, but I was concerned. But I'm getting new growth kind of everywhere. And I think it might actually be trying to flower. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but right down in there by my ring fingernail, there's a little, like a bud or something forming. It's red, whatever it is. I don't know, so that would be cool. I'll keep an eye on it, you know? But yeah, and it's dry and thirsty, as everything else is. And another Hoya. I'm bouncing around all over the place. Hoya Wilbur Graves. This is one of the ones that came to me last year, the end of last year, I think, with root mealies. So early this year, I went ahead and chopped it up because get rid of the roots, get rid of the root mealies. And I put them in soil because they were in either pon or leca, I'm not sure. They were in semi-hydro. But the update with these guys is that's a lot of green, and it doesn't look great. I don't know. I think this one went outside and the other one was in here, so it might have just had some pesty damage or something, or I might have fried it in the sun. I just broke a leaf off though, for sure. But I'm going to cut that back to where we have some more silver, because that's the point of the Wilbur Graves, isn't it? Is this nice, where is it? I like that one. But this, you know, this silvery growth. I don't mind these half ones. They're kind of cool. But yeah, these all green ones, I mean, they're a little bit splashy, I guess, but that's not what we're here for. So I'm going to cut that back. I sent a couple of these as cuttings to somebody when I made some trades this spring, I think. How did yours do if you're watching? Did you end up getting that silver, or did you get a bunch of green like I did? This is the other one, which did very similarly. We had some nice silver down here, and then the new growth here at the end of this one. Pretty green. I don't know what happened there. I think it might have gotten too close to the grow light. But I see where it's going to grow there. It's going to put out another vine or shoot. So we'll see what happens with that one. And then this is the second one that's in here, which it's done the same, pretty green. Pretty green, splashy but green. But it's also got a new growth coming right there. So I'm just gonna cut off the green and wait and see. I do like this plant, but I get frustrated with plants that you have to constantly maintain to keep them looking like they're supposed to look. And this is definitely one of those. Then this is the Hoya Silver Dollar. It has done nothing in quite a while. And did I repot this recently? I don't think I did. Oh, we've got some pretty good roots though. I see no evidence of root mealies. Normally you can kind of see, especially on these black pots, you can see like the white, or you can see them kind of floating in the reservoir. I don't see that. I'll probably repot it and see what happens. But yeah, did I say Hoya Silver Dollar? Which I really like this one, but I'd like to get it growing again. It hasn't grown in quite a while. I think it put out this leaf after I cut it, and maybe this leaf, and that's all I've gotten from this plant the entire time I've had it, which is coming up on a year, maybe? I can see where it might do a grow down there. I don't know. If all else fails, these Hoyas that are frustrating me anyway, I'm gonna dust them with the sulfur. I'm not gonna do the spray. I'm gonna just dust it on there dry with a makeup brush or something all over. But first I'll try repotting, because it's so pretty. Could it just grow, please? Please? Just a little? I kind of currently have several Hoyas that are just stubbornly refusing to grow, like Hoya Irina, Isensis, the Ganungading, kind of growing. It seems to kind of want to grow in spurts. To be fair, it's constantly drying. But I'm afraid to uppot it because I just did uppot it not that long ago. I don't know. But you can see, like, the tips are drying. The growing points, they're just drying out. And I don't know, I haven't looked at this one under the microscope lately. I guess I will. But just grow, just grow. So this was the last new growth. It's very small. Very small. That's what we got out of it. Maybe this here is newer as well. I don't know. I'm starting a pile over here of things that I pick up that I'm like, oh, you need water. But I really like this plant. I really, really do. I just want it to do a grow. That would be great. That would be fantastic. This here was, again, it was a root mealy one, and I got frustrated with it. I took it out, stuck it in here with some systemic, which I explained a while ago why I don't really use systemic anymore. And if you missed that, it's because this was the summer of spider mites. And I kind of blame the systemics. This would be the year that I have had the most plants in systemics. It was also the year that I've had the most spider mites. I've never seen so many spider mites in my life. I spent probably about a month just fighting spider mites on things that never get spider mites. But yeah. So pretty. Just do a grow. I had a bunch of my alocasia go dormant or die back to the corm, basically. This is one of them. This is, I think it's Alocasia Pink Princess, I think is what this one was called. There's actually 2 corms in here, but the other one hasn't really done anything yet. I let them dry out entirely too much, and so they died back, and I did it with a bunch of my Alocasia, Colocasia, and I didn't mean to. It was just things are drying insanely fast. Turn the heat on, you know what I mean? And I just couldn't keep up with it all. So, pawn. Lots of them are in pawn now, just because it makes my life easier. And some of them are not like bouncing back quite as quickly as I had thought they would. This one here has, one of the corms anyway. There's even more downstairs in the cabinet because I put a bunch into semi-hydro. I think I've got Regal Shields here, which that's also, put that in semi-hydro a while ago, but that was because of spider mites. I took the plant, all the leaves off, and I just stuck some corms or whatever in the pot and hoped for the best, which I just had to up pot that the other day. It's in a 6-inch now from a 4-inch maybe. This is Alocasia Okinawa Silver, and it does not seem to be enjoying the transition at all. It had 4 leaves just the other day, I swear. And it's got a little baby down there that's very, very white, so I'm not expecting great things from that particular corm. I think that was the only corm I found in there, and that's been there and not been any bigger for a very long time. I'm looking to see if I see any root movement. I don't, not yet. I'm not sure how long it's been in here. A couple days, maybe a week at most. But yeah, I really like this plant. This was the first variegated alocasia I ever got. Not that this is a great representation of what this plant's supposed to look like. It's been tough though, it really has. I've sent it into dormancy several times, and it's not the plant, it's me. Spider mites, it never was bothered by too much of anything except for drying it out. So I'm hoping that it'll convert quite well here for me. One can hope. It does have a very long chunk though, and I wish I could get that deeper in the pot. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it, because once again, that's where I need the roots right now. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it and see how it does. But yeah. This is my philodendron, what is it, snowdrift? Blizzard? I don't know. I can't tell you the difference. Can you see? Yeah, the spots. We have definitely had fungal issues, me and this plant. It's rust is what it is. It's pretty easy to slow it down. Like you can see the new leaf is not affected, but I really have to stay on top of spraying it all the time with like a copper fungicide is what I use. Like that new leaf is really pretty, and it's working on another one. Hopefully it do okay. Why this new leaf came out smaller, I couldn't tell you. Like, look at the pink petiole. Why it came out smaller, I couldn't tell you. All I can figure is it was trying to flower. I did have it outside for a while, and it was starting a nice flower. But I plucked it off because I have no need of flowers, blooms, spathes, whatever. But there's a growth point down there. There's a couple of them around there, and like that one looks like it's trying to make a move. And then there's another one on the front side there that's trying to make a move. So that would be pretty cool. I would like to get some offsets. But yeah, the rust on plants. It's not on all of my plants by any stretch of the imagination, but there are several that I have to, every time I water them, I have to go ahead and spray them with copper fungicide, or the new growth will just be covered in it again. This is one, the Ring of Fire, that's one. I'll show you that one. This is the newest leaf on the Ring of Fire. It's very pretty, like the variegation there. That's lovely. But it's always got some rust on it. I don't know. Can you see there? New leaf coming. This one literally just opened up and it's already spitting out another one. But yeah, it's always got rust. Like no matter how much I chase it down, I can get it to where it's better, but if I water it just once without spraying it with the fungicide as well, it's just a never-ending battle, I guess. Like that's a new leaf and it's already got it. I don't think I sprayed it though. I think I just kind of dumped water over top of the pool in the bathtub. I find that it doesn't spread from plant to plant, but it'll spread on the same plant, if that makes any sense. Like this one here can be prone to it, but it doesn't really have much. This is philodendron white knight. I was staring at the petioles trying to figure out what it was. But yeah, so that's pretty. I love this leaf because of that little bit of like pinkish color in there. Pretty. It's pretty. I just put this on a pole after it got 2 feet tall already. It was just kind of on a stick, and it was in the greenhouse, and I didn't want to drag it in, but now that I've drug it in, I did go ahead and stick it on a pole here. The plastic that you see all wrapped around it is just to encourage it to root into the pole, because once I get some roots in the pole, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting it. Because it, you know, the bottom is not the most beautiful here. We got some tatty leaves, we got a curly leaf down there. I don't know. I like it though, when it's happy and healthy and beautiful. Okay, so this is what I was talking about back here, the mess. That's the light I call the Sansi helicopter light. That is the light that I hate because it's very aggressively purple. It's also as bright as the sun. But this clutter, it makes me twitch. It really makes me twitch. Kind of what's going on. That down there, that's the white princess, I think. I don't know why it has glitter on it. I don't know if that's showing up. But the white sections are melting. We do have a little bit of copper rust on there. Here's another white section just melting on that plant. It was like a half moon. It was pretty. This is the newest leaf on there. So far it's looking okay. You can see a couple spots though. Yep. But I still like it, even though it's a pain in the butt. The Atabapoense, this is currently the newest leaf on it, which is very pretty, very pretty. But I said last time the extra floral nectaries are crazy on this plant. It's actually like dripping from this cataphyll where this new leaf is developing. It's so gross. It's gross. But yeah, we're trying to get that to root into the pole so I can cut it soon. It's so pretty though. I really do love that plant. The global green pothos over here, it's not really sized up much. It really hasn't. But I mean, it's growing into the pole just fine. There's like another vine down there. It's just this one decided to take off and make a move. The Esqueleto, it's sized up a bit. It's got a new leaf coming out. That's the previous new leaf. So, and it's definitely rooted all into the pole. But it's not that far from the top already. I'm like, ugh, that one really just grew. But then it's got a couple other vines down in there that really haven't done anything. Like, what are we focusing on? There we go. There are more vines down in there. That's the Syngonium albo. Not looking the most albo. Once again, one vine just ran up there and the other ones are just kind of down there hanging out. I guess that's why you plant multiples, because one is bound to just take off and the rest of them just sit there. The Jose Bono here, this is its newest leaf. Looking pretty good. I like that when they're all splotchy. It's just a little bit of everything everywhere. I think this was the previous new leaf, which was also very pretty. It just grew weird because it was like up against something. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see how it's like curled up. But yeah, it's a very pretty plant. It is not currently working on a new leaf. I'm sure it will soon. The Florida Beauty back there, it's working on unfurling a leaf. I have a feeling that's going to be all green. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it too much, but I have a feeling. Oh, maybe not. I think I do see some color on there. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. That was the previous leaf. Very pretty. Philodendron Bob C here. I repotted it into that giant pot, but it, you know, it needed it. I did not give it a moss pole. It does not need one. This is just there for support. It's to keep it more upright because it was leaning over and it was taking up, you know, twice as much space. So, yeah, hopefully this will help keep it under control a little bit more. This new leaf has been taking forever. Forever. To be fair, I only water this about once a month. If I watered it a little bit more, maybe it would grow better. Like outside they get watered all the time, but inside it's just hard to drag this around to water it. It's a large plant. I really like the variegation on it, even though it's like peekaboo variegation. Barely there. Barely there. But gorgeous. This up here is the remainder of my very, very sad Cebu blue, which I know we're in the dark here. You just have to trust me that that's what it is, a Cebu blue. But it's up here above my head, and it just kind of keeps going and going and going. And you know, that's a pretty big plant to have been on a moss pole. It was just so difficult to do anything with. It was on all sides of the moss pole. I don't know, so it got ripped off, and some of the leaves aren't looking too hot. But it's okay. It's all right. We're gonna do our best with it like that. That is the Anthurium hookeri. That is the plant that I said probably weighs about 55 pounds after I water it. It is so heavy. It is so heavy. It just weighs a ton. I do love this plant, but my gosh, it's heavy. That's a newer leaf here. That one there in the back, that's a newer leaf. It's also put out an inflow. It's a two-headed monster. There's two in here, and then this other one right here is about to put out another inflow. Maybe you can see it. I'm not trying to pollinate this or anything. I don't know what I'd pollinate it with anyway. The only other Anthurium I have right now that's about to flower is Clarinervium. And I don't think they'd match up. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But I do like that plant. It's just massive. I say that every year. And every year I throw it outside, take some of the leaves off, and it's just even bigger when I bring it back in. So, I don't know. I haven't cut any leaves off. Oh, no, that's a lie. I think I got one on each head that I had to pull off. Just because they were really tatty. I mean, some of them are still kind of tatty. Bugs eating them and me trying to carry this plant up the stairs without actually injuring myself. It's a lot. You can see my very angry Monstera albo that's not being very albo. It's either being too albo or not very albo. Like, that's pretty, but that just, it's gonna do that. It's gonna do that. It's gonna brown and die. Like, this room is really, really cluttered right now as well with plants. It's so much. It's a Gloriosum hybrid down here in the floor. One of the Monstera aureas, one of the bigger ones. Kind of under here. There you go. Now you can see it. Some sort of colocasia right there. This absolute monstrosity. This is Hoya pubicalyx, and there are vines kind of all over the place. I had to rip this out of the greenhouse. I mean, it was just grabbing everything everywhere. I don't know if you can get a scope for how big this thing is, but like, it's huge. It's huge. And it's dense. It is densely on here. This one is the one that finally did flower this year. So actually it's two different kinds in there. One is just a little splashier. I don't know if you can tell. And then the other one is just kind of green, but its sun stress is really pretty. It's like purple and orange and all the colors when it's outside. So I don't know. I don't know. And these came from really small plants. Really, really small plants. It was two little 4-inch pots, and I grew them out a little bit, and then I just stuck them in there together, and here I am. I don't know, 4 or 5 years later. I'm not even sure how long I've had that, but woof, woof. The terrarium I planted up a couple months ago, it's doing okay. It's just doing okay. I don't remember putting this quorum in here, but apparently I did. I know I didn't put a plant in here, so that's Alocasia black velvet. Or not black velvet, I'm sorry. Regal Shields. Some Syngonium. Some Epiprimnum pinnatum aurea. Some Campos Bortoanum. It looks like Rhaphidophora decursiva. I don't remember putting that in here. Maybe it was a wet stick. Some reverted, variegated, it was supposed to be anyway, but reverted Adansonii. I don't know what this is down here. Syngonium erythrophyllum. There's a couple pieces in there. There's some Monstera siltepecana up there, Standoliana down here. I don't even know what all's in here. The Pilea, mostly dead. The fern that I put back there, like a tiger fern, I can't remember what that thing was called. It was golden zebra bamboo fern. You see what happened to that. It didn't go great. Most of this, like creeping fig or whatever that is, most of that died off, but some of it did okay. This little thing under here, what's that called? Ruella macoiana, velvet vine. A lot of that died, but it might be trying to make a comeback. All the Paulownia did great. The green, all green down in there, you can see it climbing up there. I don't know. I just let it do what it's going to do. I put cuttings of things in there every once in a while, just to see. Throw some stuff at it and see what sticks, right? This here, don't look at the mess in the closet, but this here was that, oh, is it a Dracaena? I think it's Dracaena, I'm not sure. But yeah, it came with free mealybugs. It has had a rough summer. You can see. It's been burnt. It had spider mites. I think thrips might have gotten a hold of it. I think it continues to have mealybugs. Is that a mealybug I just wiped with my finger? No. I don't know. It's not had a good time. I bought it on the half-dead rack anyway. I mean, it might have had 2 leaves. But yeah, it's just not going great. I think this is currently the newest leaf, which looks okay. So I might have had some luck getting rid of some of its problems, but it looks like it's putting out an inflorescence and not a leaf. Maybe 2. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with that. This was another mealybug purchase from Lowe's. Is that a mealybug? No, that's actually, why does it look so yellow? Perlite. But anyway, I need some good light to show this plant because it's gorgeous. I love this one. This is one of my daughter's favorites too. It's like a bluey gray color. I don't know. This light is really not doing it any kind of justice, but it's doing well. This was a mealybug plant too. And I did put this one in systemics. I think I got it about this time last year. Maybe. I think so. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. There's the color. That's what it looks like. Platinum-ish. Yeah, so that's an aglaonema. It flowered a bit. My other aglaonemas are floating around. Look, it's got a little friend down here. It made a baby. But yeah, it's doing all right. It's doing good. I've got a lot of my Dracaena kind of jammed down in there. I don't even know what kinds they are. They were all potted together this spring. Pardon the half-dead Mayoi leaf. That one, this one. There's an aglaonema down there, and then this Dracaena. They're doing fine. I did separate them out. It was just so jammed in that pot. I was like, ugh, that wasn't a great idea. The group planting of Dracaena. I don't know. I might do it again in the future. I was saving space. And then back in here, I forgot this Philodendron gigas, which it grows better than Melanochrysum, for me, anyway. But it's got stuff going on. That looks fungal, right? Like, if we can not see through it. I mean, we've had issues. We've had issues. That, and it's been on this pole for probably a couple weeks now, and I don't think it's even trying to grab anywhere. Oh, that's a lie. It is right there. I don't know if you can see, there's just a little boop, you know, trying to get out there. But yeah, the newer growth up here doesn't appear to be. It's getting ready to put out its second leaf since I've put it on there. I don't know. I don't know. I've had issues with this plant before. Can you see that leaf? Yeah, that was definitely something fungal going on there, I guess. But anyway, I thought I had it cleared up. So I went ahead and you know, potted it up and put it on a pole. I don't know. I'm spraying it. I'm spraying it. Once again, I'm using, for this one, it's a copper fungicide, but it's a soap, like a copper soap spray. Whereas normally I just use like a regular straight copper fungicide on like the rust. I don't know. I don't know. I've not had a great time growing this plant. It grows quickly, yes. Sizes up pretty easily, yes. But has other issues, yes. Like I said, it's not as bad as melanochrysum for me. My melanochrysum is in that other room, looking pretty bad. Like it sent out a couple nodes that didn't have any leaves, and then the latest leaf has been kind of half furled for a month. I don't know. And I think it dropped a leaf on the bottom. It's just not doing great. I might end up chopping that up yet again, and I just got it potted up, I think, this summer. Ugh. The joy of plants. No, I love them, I do. I just get frustrated, I guess. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to chop this up just yet. I'm going to keep spraying it a little bit longer, and we'll see if we can't get somewhere. I need to add more moss. I probably need to extend this pole very soon already. And I just put it on here. I waited too long, but I waited so long because I really wanted to make sure that it was in pretty good shape when I stuck it on here, and here we are. So, I don't know. That looks awful. Like, it just looks awful. I don't know. Wish me luck with that, I guess. This is, I can't remember which kind. I don't know. It's an orchid. It is like the most common type of orchid there is. I can't even remember what the flower looks like on this thing. I've had it for a very long time. It used to flower pretty frequently, but I believe last summer it got looking pretty rough out in the greenhouse. When I brought it in, I think it was this spring, I finally was like, okay, I've got to do something with this because it looks terrible. It looked half dead. It was very floppy and limp, and a lot of the roots just weren't any good. So I put it in some dirty moss here, and we have new roots. We have new roots everywhere in there. Those green ones, they're new. They're new and freshly watered. I watered it maybe yesterday or day before, but this is the main plant. It has 4 leaves over there. That was the plant that I potted up. Well, it didn't have 4 leaves. It might have had 1 or 2, but it's put out another little plant over here, and then there's another little bitty one down there. So yay, maybe we can get this back on track and get it flowering again someday. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. So I can't tell you why. Like, this was a half-dead orchid at my local Lowe's when I bought it 5-6 years ago. I'm really not sure. I have no idea how long I've had it, but it's the only orchid I currently have. I have had a couple, but it's the only one that's still with us, and like I said, only barely just. I have no idea why I worked so hard to try to rehab this thing when you could just go buy another one. I mean, you could, but this one is mine, and I love it. Maybe it'll flower again someday soon. We'll see. I'm hopeful. That way I can figure out what color the flowers were. Can't remember. I would just like look back on my phone because, you know, you take pictures of stuff when they flower, but that was probably several phones ago at this point. I'm sure I don't have those pictures anymore. Darn. Drat. I think that might be it for me. I think those are most of my updates currently. You know, what's happening good and what's happening bad and what's just not happening at all. So it is Halloween currently, so happy Halloween if you celebrate. I'm going to try to edit this tonight and get it up tonight. We'll see if that happens because it's currently 8 o'clock. I might melt into the bed and just watch, what is it, Agatha All Along? I've been watching that. What We Do in the Shadows, which is the dumbest show I've ever seen, but I kind of like it. And Only Murders in the Building. I think that just finished. I think I just watched the season finale of that. I don't know. Let me know if there's anything good to watch. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching. Come back and check me out again soon. Bye.